Who is Mystery Babylon? It's a big question, isn't it? Welcome to the Heart of David, guys. Hope you guys are doing well. If you're interested to know this answer, I hope you follow my line of thinking. You know, this is one of the biggest things in the Bible, you know, one of the biggest mysteries, right? But I don't believe it's a mystery at all, to me anymore anyways, to a point where I don't think I'm ever going to turn my view away again. I understand, you know, like there's people teaching that it's Jerusalem, and I'm well aware what it says about spiritually, like Egypt and Sodom and where the Lord was crucified. You would say, oh, where the Lord was crucified has to be Jerusalem. Listen, there's a lot more to that. There's a lot more to that. How can you contest that, right? But I'm sorry to say, the United States of America is Mystery Babylon. I did a search after I realized, like, man, I know they are for many different reasons that I hope to go through. And if this cuts off for some reason, I have my other computer because I can't flip around on this anymore. I have Revelation 17:18. I may do you know, like a different type of video while watch this video of this guy. He made it, I forget what it is, maybe 3 months ago. It's the United States of America. I just want to discuss this, and I want you to push out of your mind that it says where the Lord was crucified. Where the Lord was crucified. I want to get that out of your mind. Mystery Babylon is going to be an end times power that rules out Rome, 7 mountains, 7 hills. There's 7 in Hollywood, but I don't even think that's it. They're on 7 hills in Hollywood. Where's Hollywood now? It's burned to the ground. At least a big portion of it is. Just got back from selling candles. I sold a few and took my motorcycle out and just came across a sister in Christ and was talking to her about these types of things. How do I begin this? Man, you got to watch this video. I want to do a screen share and talk, you know, I was going to do those videos. I think I'm going to do it tonight. So here we go. Think of the Statue of Liberty. Right? The Statue of Liberty was given from, you're going to have to see this video, people who were Freemasonic. They were. And that statue, that woman isn't what you think it is. It's not freedom. It's not all those types of things. And you'd have to go into this video to look why. But how many things does it have on the crown? I sit as a, what does it say? I sit as a queen. I am no widow. It has 7 horns on it. Do you ever notice that? I also think about the G7 too, but it represents the continent. It represents the continent. So I'm going to give a little of what I think. This is going to be long. In 2010, I have a disease called adhesive arachnoiditis of my spine. It's very painful. And in 2010, I couldn't walk, and I had to get a ketamine infusion and sit on an operating table for 2 hours and just go in and out of visions. That's what they give, a ketamine infusion, or they can. It did. I had been studying a lot about World War II, World War I, Vietnam War, and other wars. And I, you know, as I lay there on the table, I went into a vision. And this is only the second time I've mentioned this, I think. It just happened so quick in my mind that I saw the United States reaching out everywhere like they had tentacles, okay? Like they had tentacles all over the world. And I got scared. I realized the United States has the world in its hand. And if you deny that, I think you're ignorant. You're ignorant of what's really going on. They dictate everything that goes on in this world. And that's why they're not mentioned in the Bible, and that's why they're called Mystery Babylon. They have 800 military bases. They say they're for peace, but they cause war everywhere. They spread their wars everywhere. They sell their weapons everywhere. They're not who you think they are. And like Paul said in, Timothy? He said, the way that people are going to be like in the end. And those are the people in the States. The women, a lot of women, like, I'm entitled, I'm an independent woman, and our divorce rates are, it's like 80% women initiating divorces. In any case, it's just a symptom. This is what has happened in the United States. They export their evil. How could they not be Mystery Babylon? Of course they are. I'm going to go across 17 and 18 in Revelation. And I need some breaks though. But listen to this. So I grew up, 1990s, early 1990s, I was in high school, okay? And I said many times, I'm 46 years old, so I grew up in a certain era. An era just when the computers were beginning, they were weak, very weak. And I noticed when there was changes in this world, and it came from Silicon Valley of evil. They are. That's what they are. Everyone became addicted to everything that they made. The world changed, as you can see. Social media. I don't mean this. This is about God. Everything changed. It's just like Daniel foretold. Knowledge shall increase. People are different now because of it. And that's why I go out in nature and I try not to be consumed by it. And just give me a sec. Breathless. Last night, the end of last night, there was a suggested video on my YouTube. And it was like, crime stuff where they show you stuff live. There are probably millions of videos. There has to be millions of crime videos. Live crimes, live violence, live shootings, live murders. Comes and it's exported by the United States of America. So I was watching one. I don't know why I clicked on this. I'm not going to do that any longer. I remember I was a fan of horror movies, and the very last one I watched turned me off of it as I was coming to the Lord. It was Halloween, and it was by Rob Zombie, and it was so violent, man, I had to turn it away. It didn't make me feel good. Last night it was this female cop goes in and tries to arrest this man, but she's overpowered by him, and he doesn't want to kill her or anything. And she ends up shooting his mother. I don't know why I watched it. I don't know why I clicked on it. I'm telling you, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. I'm in university right now learning about vicarious traumatization, secondary traumatization as well. You can develop trauma from listening to people's stories, but people are watching murders on live TV. The United States is evil, I'm sorry to say. Flat out. The world knows it. I don't blame anyone for not liking the United States. And when you're in it, you don't really know as much. We have a generation of very entitled people in the States. And you can see it by the millions of the videos, man. It's insane. Their guns, school shootings, like they make a gun law or two, about make it a bit more safe. It's like, what is it, like 13,000 murders a year or something like that? And it's probably gone way up. I think you need to wake up and see what's happening. Your leaders are so corrupt, it's not even funny. You're like the joke of the earth in terms of what your leaders do. Look, The United Nations is situated in New York City. New York got flooded. Hollywood got burned. Hollywood, how about Hollywood with all its pornography, exporting it everywhere? It started there. Hollywood projects Satan's work. Can you think of a more evil place that's ever existed on this earth? They let in 20 million migrants. Did you see all the evil that was going on there? There was like thousands, probably thousands of rapes every week from the Mexican cartels. People coming through wearing a band. You know, this is how much you owe me, and they rape the women. I'm not overblowing it. I think they raped almost every single woman that went through. That's what they were saying for the longest time. Now your president, who was the antichrist, is being accused of pedophilia. But he's fought all his life against things like that. Donald Trump is the antithesis of Babylon. He is Nebudchanezzer. Do you get it? It's going to be destroyed in 1 hour. Let's look at what I got here. What did I put here? Oh, man. It's the United States, guys. My glasses on. You got to listen to this video because this guy details it thoroughly. I've never seen one like this for this subject, and that's why I'm so... Man, you know, I feel it in my bones. You know, what about most places will take care of you if you get sick. They'll leave you. I remember seeing videos in hospitals, people coming out of the ER, they shove them on the curb. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can find those videos because they have them. Look what they're building to entrap you. They're so rich and turning evil, and that's why you see everything changing right in front of us. Where did I put this? Yeah, the United States is the best country in the world, the most free. No, you're not. Look at the jailed people, man. It's a business. I don't think it's the same God. You know, like look on their dollar bill, right? You know, there was a volcano as bigger than Mount St. Helens went off in Russia last night. I believe it was last night, and there was a 7.3 earthquake, and a whole swarm. They had 19 of them in Japan. The birth pains, these are coming, man. The United States is going to be destroyed in an hour. Come out of her, my people. It's talking about the end, not Israel and all those, although they are the synagogue of Satan. There is a remnant that's saved, and they're going to be brought through a fire. Many waters. Let's do some reading, man. They were drunk with the fornication because they export porn. What is it? 40% of the internet's porn and all that? Where do you think all this stuff comes from? They developed it. They made it. They export it. This is what they do. Silicon Valley needs to be, in my eyes, in a better world, gone. Let's read some stuff here and go along. I want you to watch the video. To think it couldn't be anyone else, you know, like, when you think of it, you're like, look at the States, man. Look how bad they are. You know, it's like... Then one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls came and talked with me, saying to me, Come, I will show you the judgment of the great harlot who sits on many waters. What was that again? The video explains it perfectly. They export their freedom everywhere, to all continents. That's what they do. They push it on people. If you don't believe me, you don't know a lot about what the U.S. government does. Many waters with whom the kings of the earth committed fornication. Of course, everyone goes through the states. Not everyone, but everyone who wants to be something. And the inhabitants of the earth were made drunk with the wine of her fornication. It's the United States. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting on a scarlet beast, which is full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads. Go look at the Statue of Liberty, 7 horns there. 7 heads, representing the 7 continents, and 10 horns. I'm not getting into the 10 horns. She was arrayed in purple scarlet, adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls, having in her hand a cup full of abominations and the filthiness of her fornication. On her forehead, mystery Babylon, the great, the mother of harlots, the abominations of the earth. I'll get into the jewelry and all those things. I saw the woman drunk with the blood of the saints. What do you mean? They haven't killed a lot of saints. We'll see. And with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus, and when I saw her, I marveled with great amazement. Or maybe I just can't explain it yet properly. But the angel said to me, why do you marvel? I'll tell you the mystery of the woman and the beast that carries her, which has the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that you saw was, is not, and I believe this is a double fulfillment of Donald Trump and America together. Right? Was, is not, and will ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. That's Donald Trump in America. And those who dwell on the earth will marvel, whose names are not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they see the beast that was, is not, and yet is. Donald Trump was, he wasn't, because he wasn't president during Biden, and yet is now. And that's also America, you'll see. What is that? But they are of the 8th. They came out of the United Kingdom, which made them the 8th. It's hard to explain. Here's the one who has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which a woman sits. So people like Rome, but look at Hollywood, it's the same. The United States is so much more evil than them and so much more rich than any of those who you can name by far. Just Elon Musk alone, $400 billion. $400 billion. That's probably like 10 times more than the Vatican has ever had in their however many years they were in power. Many, many centuries. Here's the one that has wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which a woman sits. There are also 7 kings. 5 have fallen. One is, the other, one is, and the other has not yet come. And when he comes, he must continue. I'm not going to get into that because I honestly don't have the time for that. And he must continue a short time. The beast that was and is not is himself also the 8th and is of the 7th. Of the 7th. He came from Britain. Britain was the 7th. Because John, when he was writing, it was the 6th. It was Rome. Then the 7th was Britain, and then the 8th is the United States, which came out of Britain. The 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have not received, so we haven't seen this yet, but they receive authority for 1 hour as kings with the beast. They are of one mind, and they will give their power and authority to the beast. These will make war with the Lamb. So something's going to happen to the saints. For he is Lord of Lords and Kings of Kings, and those who are with him are called chosen and faithful. Then he said to me, don't worry, we'll get to 18. Then he said to me, the waters which you saw, listen, the waters which you saw where the harlot sits are peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. There, yes, I remember. Look at the states, they're multicultural. Everyone comes to the States. Do you get it? It's multicultural. It's Babylon. Take a look at it. And the 10 horns which you saw on the beast, these will hate the harlot, make her desolate. So it's going to happen at some point. Make her desolate and naked, eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. For God has put it into their hearts to fulfill his purpose, to be of one mind and give their kingdom to the beast until the words of God are fulfilled. And the woman who you saw is that great city which reigns over the kings of the earth. So would that be the United Nations in New York City? That's the one that fits. The UN. But it's the United States. Why do you think it's in the United States? Why do you think all these floods and all these things are happening to the U.S., all these crazy things? Because God is judging the United States and has been for some time. Look at the LGBTQ. Look at the way that they've mocked God with gay and lesbian and bisexual priests, and I have nothing. I'm not saying anything against them, and I never have. It's what the good book says. People will be different in the end. They'll turn against God. This is what's happening. Revelation 18. Watch the video. I ask you, spend 18 minutes to watch this video. You'll be fully convinced. After these things I saw another angel coming down from heaven, having great authority, and the earth was illuminated with his glory. And he cried mightily with a loud voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen. So that's not Rome. This is the end. And has become a dwelling place of demons, a prison for every foul spirit, and cage for every unclean and hated bird. Are you going to tell me all the porn and the murder and all the stuff that happens in the States and the corruption, that's not them? How many OnlyFans and this, like, it's disgusting. And they call themselves the best country in the world. Yeah, I marked down here. There's a woman who said things that I'm saying, I mean, like, about the way people are in the States. She could no longer afford it there. And, you know, she was saying there's many people who cannot afford a $500 emergency. You're screwed in the States. If you get a disease and can't afford things, you're done. Like, you can't afford it. You're going to go broke. You're going to... So what she did was, man, getting wicked. Trigeminal neuralgia. Went boom, right up. Probably from riding my bike so much. She moved to Vietnam. She said, community is so much nicer. This is a woman from the States. So much nicer. This was a down-to-earth person. And she said at the most we have to pay is like $7 for Vietnam. You know, like a place where community matters. Something that was lost so long ago. No wonder men, yes, men, are going to different countries like the Philippines, Japan, and all those places to look for a woman who is like grounded. And then jealous women will say they're looking for women who are submissive. Man, women who you can deal with, who you can partner with. It's lost, it's gone, and it's not coming back. It's not coming back anyways because of the birth pains, man. There was a volcano. The volcanoes are going off everywhere. They're awake all over the world. And if you don't believe me, go research it. The birth pains are so powerful now. Watch. Within 6 months, there'll be double this. What's going to happen an hour after I shut off this video? There's probably something happening right now. There probably is. Every foul spirit, cage for every unclean and hated bird. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. The kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants. Okay, you're going to say, oh, it's Britain or whatever. It's the States that has the merchants. From coast to coast, from south to west to east. They're waxed rich like no one ever before. You don't think it's the States? But the merchants of the earth have become rich through the abundance of her luxury. You think of luxury, you think of the United States. It's like, what is it? The 1% have 30% of all the wealth. Just think of how teetered it is just from Elon Musk and the Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos. We're not living in a good time. That money should be other people's. And I don't mean in that way like socialism, like I said in my last video. I don't mean like that. Man, I'm getting trigeminal neuralgia attacks. I'm not even kidding you, man. Holy. Oh, man. That's 3 attacks. I'm just going to keep going anyways. Through the abundance of her luxury. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, lest you share in her sins." This is revelation of the end. "Unless you receive all of her plagues." I don't think it's telling you to come out of it physically, spiritually. That'd be very tough for people. "For her sins have reached to heaven, and God has remembered her sins. Render to her just as she has rendered to you, and repay her double according to her works. In the cup which she has mixed, mix double." In the yikes! It's like zapping, man. "In the measure that she glorified herself and lived luxuriously, in the same measure give her torment and sorrow. For she says in her heart, I sit as a queen and am no widow, and will not see sorrow." That's what they're like there. I'm not saying everyone's like that, but if you go, it doesn't take long to find out. "Therefore her plagues will come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she will be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judges her." Amen, right? "The kings of the earth who committed fornication and lived luxuriously with her will weep and lament for her when they see the smoke of her burning, standing at a distance for fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour your judgment has come. There's never been and there will never be a power as strong as them." You're going to say, watch Germany rise and all this. No. I already know what the antichrist is, so it can't happen that way. There may be a good power that comes out of there, like a strong power. "And the merchants of the earth will weep and mourn over her. No one buys her merchandise anymore." No one on earth has this list like them. "Gold, silver, precious stones, pearls, fine linen, purple, silk, scarlet, every kind of citron wood." What does the States not have? Every kind of object of ivory. You're going to say, well, that's from Africa. They have everything. Because they import every kind of object of most precious wood, bronze, iron, marble, cinnamon, incense, fragrant oil, frankincense, wine oil, fine flour, and the souls of men. I don't have to go far on that. "The fruit that your soul has longed for is gone from you, and all the things which you are rich and splendid have gone from you, and you shall find them no more at all. The merchants of these things, who became rich by her, will stand at a distance for fear of her torment, weeping and wailing and saying, Alas, alas, that great city was clothed in fine linen, purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls. We're going to make AI, and we're going to make robots, and we're going to take your jobs, and these are the dictators of the earth, but they come in a suit of a sheep. They're wolves, man. Every shipmaster who travels by ship, sailors, and who has as many ships as the States, man? I mean, like commercial shipping and all that. If there were a war to break out, they could ship all of the States' population probably over in a day with all the ships they have. Who was like this great city? They threw dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city, in which all who had ships on the sea became rich by her wealth. That's the United States, and there's never been one like that. You're going to say China? No. No, it's not. Because they don't meet the other standards. Rejoice over you, heaven, and the holy apostles and prophets, for God is avenged. Okay, so we know you're not going to hear the sound of musicians, flutes, trumpeters. Nothing will be found in you anymore. By your sorcery, all the nations were deceived. That's what they are. They're sorcery through Hollywood. You see all the things they do against God in there, and the development of TV, and people aren't even out anymore. It's like maybe not even 10% of people out walking around, and when you see them, they bump into something and they whatever. You know exactly what I mean. Yikes. That's like 5 or 6 attacks. I have to stop because I'm getting trigeminal neuralgia burst, man. Watch the video. I may do a thing on this, but I think I've explained it enough. This person can give you a lot more objective stuff, but I had to do this. They are Mystery Babylon, and that's why they're not in the Bible as the United States of America.